The Sukhoi Superjet 100 fleet is now at the center of an important extension program being prepared by the Ministry of Industry and Trade of Russia. As the country struggles to meet the ambitious aircraft production targets announced after Moscow launched its large-scale aviation revival strategy in 2023. The decision reflects growing pressure on Russian airlines, which continue operating aging fleets, while domestic aircraft manufacturing remains far below the levels originally promised. And honestly, this is turning into a much bigger problem for Russian aviation than many officials expected just a few years ago. Russian business media reports indicate that authorities now want to significantly increase both the operational lifespan and allowable flight hours of existing SSJ100 aircraft. The move comes as certification delays, supply chain disruptions, and ongoing engine development issues continue slowing the rollout of fully import-substituted Russian passenger aircraft. For Russian carriers, keeping existing aircraft in the air longer is becoming less of an option and more of a necessity. As this situation develops further, Russia now appears ready to nearly double the operational resource of the SSJ-100. Under the proposed Modernization and Life Extension Program, the certified operational limits of the Superjet fleet would increase significantly. Reports suggest that Russian authorities are considering raising the permissible flight hours per aircraft from the current 15,000 to 25,000 hours, up to a possible 25,000 to 40,000 hours. Flight cycle limits may also rise from roughly 10,000 to 15,000 flights, up to 15,000 to 20,000 flights, depending on aircraft configuration. Some versions of the aircraft could even see their operational lifespan extended from 15 years to 20 years. The sheer scale of the extension effort highlights how critical the existing Superjet fleet has become for Russian domestic aviation. Replacement aircraft are not arriving at the pace envisioned in the Kremlin's aviation roadmap, so officials are now attempting to stretch the usable life of aircraft already in service. Altitude Addicts notes that this is one of the clearest signs yet that Russia's aviation recovery plan is moving far slower than originally projected. Russian media reports state that the Ministry of Industry and Trade has allocated approximately 4.5 billion rubles for research and development work connected to expanding the aircraft's certified limits. The work is expected to involve structural modifications, airframe testing, component replacement, and broader import substitution measures designed to reduce dependence on foreign parts. The overall program is reportedly expected to continue until December 2028. It sounds straightforward on paper, but programs like this are usually long, technical, and sometimes messy behind the scenes. At the same time, the Superjet program continues facing the consequences of being built around foreign components for many years. The aircraft relied heavily on foreign suppliers, especially in the engine segment. Earlier SSJ100 aircraft used the ASAM 146 engine, developed through a joint venture involving Safran of France and Russia's NPO Saturn. After Western sanctions intensified following the Ukraine conflict, Russian airlines and manufacturers encountered mounting difficulties obtaining spare parts and technical support for engines and several onboard systems. Although Russia has localized maintenance for hundreds of aircraft components since 2022, serious challenges continue to persist. Rostec claims that the number of aircraft components serviceable inside Russia has increased dramatically and now includes hundreds of items, including parts for the SAM 146 engine. Even so, airlines continue reporting higher maintenance expenses and increasing operational complications. Some things are being solved domestically, but other bottlenecks simply keep appearing elsewhere in the supply chain. At present, Russian airline operators have approximately 159 Superjets in active service. Nearly half belong to Rossiya Airlines, which is a subsidiary of Aeroflot. Red Wings and Azimuth also maintain sizable fleets of the aircraft. Despite the increasingly difficult maintenance environment, many aircraft originally built with French-supported engine systems continue flying commercial routes across Russia. Complaints regarding operating costs have also become more visible across the industry. Airline executives have previously stated that maintaining the SSJ100 fleet can cost 1.5 to 2 times more than comparable Western aircraft on a per-flight hour basis. Following sanctions and supply chain disruptions, maintenance expenses reportedly increased even further as airlines became dependent on complicated logistics chains and localized repair solutions. And in practical terms, higher maintenance costs eventually affect almost every part of airline operations. Moving deeper into Russia's future aviation plans, the delayed promise of the SJ100 and PD-8 engine now sits at the center of the story. The Kremlin's post-2022 aviation strategy heavily focused on the SJ100, which is essentially a more Russified version of the Superjet. The upgraded aircraft was designed to replace foreign systems with domestically produced avionics, onboard equipment, and engines. The new Russian-built PD-8 engine became the centerpiece of that effort, intended to replace the Franco-Russian SAM-146 power plant. However, development and certification timelines have repeatedly slipped. Russian authorities originally expected serial production of the import-substituted SJ100 to begin earlier. Instead, the program has faced continuing delays tied to PD-8 certification and ongoing technical challenges. Altitude Addicts has observed that engine programs are often the hardest and slowest part of any modern aircraft development effort, and Russia's aviation sector is now dealing with exactly that reality. Reports indicate that the PD-8 engine has still not fully completed certification procedures. Although flight testing has made considerable progress and prototype aircraft have already flown with PD-8 engines installed, serial deliveries continue facing delays. Russian aviation officials continue expressing confidence publicly, but commercial deployment timelines have already been revised multiple times. So the aircraft exists, the flights are happening, but mass deliveries are still not arriving at the expected scale. According to the government's original roadmap, Russian airlines were expected to receive 42 new import-substituted Superjets during the early years of the program. In reality, only around 12 SSJ100 aircraft entered the civilian fleet during that period, while full serial deliveries of the new SJ100 have yet to properly begin. The growing gap between official targets and actual production has become one of the clearest indicators of the difficulties currently affecting Russia's aviation industry. And the Superjet is not the only program falling behind expectations. Russia's broader civil aviation production goals have also encountered major setbacks. Moscow's aviation revival strategy envisioned a huge expansion of domestic aircraft manufacturing across several categories. The initial roadmap required production of 18 MC-21 aircraft, 10 Ilyushin Il-114-300 turboprops, 20 Tupolev Tu-214 jets, and 3 Ilyushin Il-96-300 aircraft by the beginning of 2026. The government also projected that Russia's aviation industry would eventually produce 120 civilian aircraft annually, before scaling toward 200 aircraft per year by 2028. Those numbers would have exceeded some production levels seen during the peak years of Soviet aviation manufacturing. But reality turned out to be very different. Sometimes these industrial forecasts sound impressive during announcements, but mass production is where the real challenge begins. In practice, the actual production results have been far smaller. Beyond the limited Superjet deliveries, reports suggest that only one Tu-214 aircraft was delivered during the same period. That aircraft reportedly did not enter regular commercial passenger service and was instead assigned to government transportation duties. As the production gap widened, Russian officials were forced to revise expectations. Earlier plans envisioned approximately 80% of Russian airline fleets becoming domestically produced by 2030. That target was later reduced to around 50%, reflecting both slower than expected industrial progress and the continuing dependence on Western-built aircraft already in service. Altitude Addicts believes this reduction quietly reveals how difficult large-scale aviation localization becomes under long-term sanctions pressure. Russian airlines are now entering what may become a prolonged and difficult transition period. Extending SSJ100 operational limits is not simply a technical adjustment. It is rapidly becoming a strategic necessity for the country's aviation infrastructure. Airlines currently lack enough domestic replacements for aging Western aircraft, while simultaneously struggling to maintain sanctioned fleets built with foreign technology. Industry observers have repeatedly noted that Russia currently lacks a true domestic regional aircraft capable of rapidly replacing the Superjet fleet. That reality forces airlines and officials to prioritize preserving existing aircraft even while maintenance costs continue rising. Certain Superjets are already approaching major portions of their certified life cycle limits, with some reportedly accumulating between 6,500 and 7,500 flight cycles. Extending operational limits could therefore provide Russian airlines with several additional years of service, while domestic manufacturers attempt to scale up production of newer aircraft. Meanwhile, Russian aerospace companies continue promoting the SJ100 as a symbol of technological independence and import substitution. The aircraft now incorporates domestically developed avionics, flight control systems, software, and engines intended to reduce exposure to foreign sanctions. Even then, certification bottlenecks and industrial scaling problems continue slowing deployment. Looking ahead, the current SSJ100 situation illustrates the broader obstacles Russia faces while attempting to rebuild an independent civil aviation industry under sanctions pressure. The country still retains major aerospace manufacturing capacity, but replacing decades of international industrial integration has proven far more difficult than initially anticipated. Building aircraft is one thing. Building entire supply chains from scratch at speed is something else entirely. Rather than rapidly flooding the market with newly produced domestic aircraft, Russian authorities are now placing greater emphasis on extending the usable lifespan of existing fleets. That strategy may help stabilize airline operations temporarily, but it also highlights how far real production remains from earlier political promises. For now, despite high operating costs, maintenance complexity, and continuing reliance on legacy foreign technologies, the Superjet remains one of the most important aircraft in Russia's regional aviation network. The eventual commercial success of the SJ100 and PD-8 engine could determine how quickly Russia reduces dependence on aging aircraft over the next decade. If you like this video, please like, share, and subscribe the channel. Please also take the channel membership to encourage us.